probably a year prior to messaging Mercedes about having a podcast, I started to think about all the hows and, well, when am I going to have time? And I'm so tired because I'm a mom of 2 toddlers. But so I kept thinking like, yeah, I'll do that at some point. And then it kind of got to the point where I was like, I'm still a mom of 2 toddlers and I'm still tired. I don't know when that's going to change. So I'm just going to go ahead and see if it's possible. And when I messaged Mercedes, it was almost an instant yes, right?
Yeah, it was at first like, I'll say on my side, hesitant. I was not hesitant at all about the idea of starting a podcast and even doing that together. But there was a hesitation for me. Committing to another person is really what it is. And I've been, whatever you want to call it, entrepreneurial. I have a new definition for that type of word nowadays, but or for what part I play in that type of word. And Jade asked me, okay, you want to start a podcast? We could do all these things and for all these reasons. And for all the reasons that she gave me made total sense, especially because we're such opposites. We can give such different opinions, I feel like. And we're kind of the yin to each other's yang. So that was all intriguing. And I'd been, self-seeking and soul-searching and all these things for quite a long time. So I felt like it was a place that would let me explore that further, and do the research I wanted to do with the guests that we could have on. There's a lot of potential there for me, but I had this like slight, I would say momentary, it was really only like a day I think that it lasted, but at first it was like, maybe we should do, separate podcasts, but have sometimes where we combine them. And I had this whole thing where I know I was resistant to combining, and especially with another woman, which has always been tough for me because that's like a sore spot in my past, like finding places where I can commit fully to another female. So this has been such a cool experience. Like, I got past it. I was like, I saw that shit in myself and I was like, all right, let's do this. And I know it's Jade and I love, she's like my sister. She's actually who I'm repairing my relationship with my sister through. So that's interesting. So it's only been amazing. I mean, of course we've had ups and downs. We have days where we just like sisters want to, hang up the phone or like not be nice in the moment. But like I always say, we come back for more because I think we know we really do fulfill something special for each other. And we kind of complete this circle that's necessary to serve the purpose we're trying to serve with the podcast. So it's been awesome.
And it's so interesting because the moment that the thought of having my own podcast by myself didn't even cross my mind. I instantly thought I need a partner. So I was the complete opposite, which is we're always like balancing each other out in that way. But it was like right away I thought, okay, well, who's my partner going to be? And I think it's partly because most of the shows I listen to are 2 people, but my soul instantly said Mercedes. Like there was no backups, no plan Bs. And there are a lot of people like on it, people who share a lot of the same core values and would have been great partners, but our lives are so similar that I feel like it would almost be like an echo chamber, whereas Mercedes and I usually bring something different to the table and a different perspective. Our lives are also very different right now. And so my soul just said Mercedes. And then when I got that feedback from her that she had wanted to do it herself, I actually messaged Aubrey Marcus and Brendan Schaub and just asked like their opinion, and they were like, you guys definitely need each other, y'all are gonna bring so much spice to each other. And I remember sending her those messages and just feeling like, because at first I was like, oh, I didn't even think about it being on my own, but it like that was not an option for me. So it's interesting how from the start we were yin and yang.
Yeah, even all the people I listened to as far as podcasts go were all one person, it was a Joe Rogan or a Tim Ferriss or a Tom Bilyeu, and very like business masculine, all those things. And Jade always listened to duos and many women together. So it was just, I think, exactly what we both kind of needed in the moment, and it's panned out that way so far. I think we're following our calling for sure.
I wouldn't have been able to do this by myself, to be honest. I don't know how you do it, Zarin.
It's a lot of work. I very luckily have a guy behind the scenes that works on a lot of the technical aspects. And I mean, there's so much that goes into something like this a lot of people don't realize. And the both of you, even right here in your response, you feed off of each other so beautifully well. Like you knew when to take breaks and when to let the other person flow and talk. And it's a very special thing, especially like in a partnership like this, and experiencing it from the other end as well, being asked questions. I got to really feel both of your strengths and how well like each one of you asked your own set of questions that of course definitely coexisted with each other very fluidly. So this has been a beautiful so far, even on this episode and the entire episode 2 days ago on your platform. And I find that pretty rare with when two people are kind of upholding one half of the equation. And for you to recognize that like you are the yin to each other's yang, like that's a really cool way to even visualize your personalities. Pretty cool.
It's also come with time. If you listen to our first episode that we never aired, I had to put a Post-it on my laptop that said, "Do not talk while she's talking." So it's definitely come with, like, we've helped each other grow a lot when it comes to that type of communication.
The beautiful thing is that getting into any kind of partnership, right? Any kind of relationship in life, whether it be in business or in romantic relationship or whatever it is, sister, brother, anything. When you decide to dedicate yourself to it, commit to it, you don't have the like ability to always just blame and run away from you taking responsibility of what your part plays. And I think that's where the growth has come. Like we're both kind of being these mirrors for each other and allowing for some sort of reflection, you know? And I think also we trust each other. That's a big deal, you know? That's hard too. That's hard for me, like I said, especially with women. So getting to a place where I can do that with a person, I knew Jade was that person. Like that was not a hard thing for me to know right off the bat. You can feel like the reflection is as clear as it's going to be. You know, when somebody gives you something back, you should probably look at it when you know it's someone who you can trust opinion.